Welcome. We are preparing to launch the Psychic Dog Talk radio program featuring unique, independent commentary on news, science, and current events. Always be sure to check out the free website for important updates between shows. It's PsychicDogTalk.com. Now we are delighted to introduce our superior host, David Lineo. Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Psychic Dog Talk radio program. I'm your host, David Lineo, and I'm coming at you live from the middle of a marsh, letting my dog run wild and recording this on my phone. It's kind of a crazy year. Technology's gone pretty far, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm having a good time out here, enjoying the change of seasons, so hopefully you're having a good day wherever you are too, and thank you for tuning in. I'm going to talk about White History Month. Have you been enjoying November, this White History Month? Thank you to everyone who's using that hashtag. I think it's kind of a funny concept, and it draws out the double standards in some of this ridiculous identity politics that we've been seeing lately so much. I guess the question is why do we have all these other like heritage months and special celebrations, but not a White History Month? And I guess maybe I asked that tongue-in-cheek, but I guess half seriously, too. Like, if identity politics is good for, the world and our country and all that, well, it should be good for everybody. So why... I guess I'm just curious about the double standard and why some people don't like it when you celebrate your heritage. I think it's kind of a crazy concept, but that's where we are today. Some people don't like it when, I guess, like white people, which is kind of a broad term, but anyone celebrates their heritage. Or not anyone, anybody white. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe if it's Celtic pride or Italian pride or something that's different. But I mean, they don't want our ethnic group united politically as some of the other ones have in like a voting block, or I don't know. I guess I'm curious what you guys think of that, but I hope you've been enjoying November, White History Month. I got big plans for next month, actually. I'm thinking about starting a Midwest Poverty Law Center to troll the Southern Poverty Law Center, which might be kind of fun. If you guys want to join me in that, I definitely would encourage that and welcome you. We'll be talking about, free speech in Europe and exciting stuff like that. See what else is going on right now. I'm using a new program to record this podcast, so I guess we're kind of testing that out, seeing if it works. Hoping that. So I guess I want to talk about free speech and where that's at these days. Post-Trump election is kind of funny. A lot of people are just hating on the free expression of ideas and the whole push to break down the PC self-censorship, if you will. I think it's kind of triggering people on the right to be more obnoxious and maybe push the limit with free speech even further. But, I think it's an ideal that's worth fighting for. If you feel like you want to push some of those free speech boundaries, I'd encourage it. Like, it's what America's founded on. But the left wants to censor people, and, like, it's a chilling thing, really. Like, it's not good for our country to feel like there's certain things you shouldn't be able to say, or like maybe you do have the right to say things, but PC speaking, you don't. You might get beat up at school. Like we've been seeing these videos of kids getting beat up over the past week over mock Trump elections and voting for Trump, and like I can't even believe how silly some of this stuff is, but that's where we are. And I think the people voted to kind of smash that. Like we don't, grab it right by the pussy, so to speak. And it's, going to take time for that to happen, but it's kind of interesting that, like, some of the left is just doubling down on the whole, we elected a hater, and this is hate speech, and we need to censor this, and, make your voice heard, boycott New Balance. Like, I love New Balance running shoes, by the way, but how is this good for anybody? Like, I don't, it seems poisonous to me. I guess I'm curious what you guys think. I'm going to try to rig it up in the future so I can, like, get your questions live as I talk, but, post them on my Twitter here. It's PsychicDogTalk 3. I'm also on Gab at PsychicDogTalk, but, yeah, I'll get back to you throughout the week. If you guys have any questions or you want to add your own commentary, maybe we include it in next week's show. I can put your questions on, but soon, hopefully, I'll be able to have you record your actual questions and send them in to me, or maybe go live. But we need to break this whole self-censorship, PC, news monopoly, blah, 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 by any means necessary, I guess. So, like, how is that going to happen? It'll be interesting to see what happens to the mainstream media here, what's going on behind the scenes, and who Trump lets into his press corps in the White House might actually be pretty interesting, because, like, I mean, I think a lot of us, we don't want to see Mitt Romney put in the cabinet crowd, would probably say, yeah, don't let CNN and don't let MSNBC or New York Times, or all these people have just been poisonous throughout the election, have been lying and just not, I don't want to say not valuing truth, I'll say un-American. All these people, it's like they need to be punished somehow, and at the very least have their power removed from them so they can't do this again. Like, I think that's probably the most practical way to do it. But how will that happen? Who's going to take their place? Like, the whole news media is a pretty essential function of our society, so it's going to take time for some of these systems to be rebuilt, I suppose. I think it will be interesting to see who can actually do it. Will we see some bloggers rise up? Will we see some podcasters do it? Will we see people from the conventional mainstream media take their business to a different platform, so to speak, become bloggers, become podcasters? Like, do we need the whole cable news conglomerate thing going on with our media? I'd like to see that break. And one interesting thing is, like, you go try to sign up for the internet, something everybody wants to have in their house, or the way you're hearing my podcast right now, probably over the internet, and they're trying to get you to sign up for cable, and say, I just want the high-speed internet put in my house. I don't watch any of this cable bullshit. And it's like, well, it's cheaper if you get cable. I don't know how that works, but it's like, you know, they're taking something everyone needs and making it subsidize MSNBC and CNN and even Fox News and all these bullshit channels that are just propagandizing us. Like, we're almost forced to do business with them. I think political candidates feel like they're forced to advertise on TV too, which is problematic, and that needs to change here as this breaks down. I think we'll see that kind of trend that way. But you know, I'm gonna put you on hold real quick and call my dog real quick. Hold on. And we're back. Hello, puppy dog. She's back too. So how is that gonna happen? What's gonna bring down the mainstream media or make it honest again, make it great again, I suppose, if it was ever great? But, like, we can't just allow them to keep lying. So I'm just wondering, like, how is this gonna change? And people are talking about the whole olive branch and trying to unite the party, blah blah blah. I think we need to stick to some of these ideals that got Trump elected, pretty much, and that's just war with the media, taking them down, putting a stop to this. Like, I want to see it happen, and I would encourage that to happen, and I'd even encourage you guys to do your part on social media or whatever in the comment section to discredit some of this bullshit. Like, I don't know what to tell you to do, but I think it's something everyone has a role to play in, so to speak. Mass triggering memes. What is the power of a meme? Like, that's something too to talk about. Can we use memes to bring down the media and accomplish other political goals? I think it's been proven in the past election. Yeah, that's the way the future's going, and it's kind of interesting to think that, you know, some kids with Photoshop or GIF or whatever software people are using to edit their images these days, Pixlr, have, you know, almost as much power as what, you know, CNN had 10, 15 years ago in terms of digital propaganda or infographics or whatever you want to call that. So it's a brave new world. It's a different century or millennia or whatever you want to call this now. Like, times have really changed, and it'll be interesting to see who adapts and how one has to behave in this environment to adapt. But it will be happening either way. So, well, what do you guys think about this whole Midwest Poverty Law Center idea? I think it's pretty funny, and I'm not even sure where exactly it's going to go, but I think it's kind of going to mirror and play on some of the anti-white propaganda we see from other hate groups, I'd like to call them. And I don't know, I don't really want to be a hate group, but I want to play with comedy and satire, so they might label it a hate group thing, kind of like White History Month. But I think it's important that we just kind of focus on double standards anytime we see them across the board in politics or probably even science. Like, that's where interesting stuff is happening. And like in politics especially, it goes against the whole rule of law. Like, you're not going to have double standards, everyone's treated the same, blah blah blah. But there are clearly some double standards. Maybe it's social double standards, and that we can, address just in the way we behave and not through laws and legislation. But it's democracy. I mean, it's something to talk about. I'm trying to think what else happened this week. Hey puppy, welcome back. My dog is covered in mud and shaking off, if you can hear that. I've been kind of enjoying watching Trump name his cabinet and play with who he's going to have, I guess, representing America or whatever. I saw Betsy DeVos was named as education secretary, and I guess congratulations to her. I'm not really sure I know much about her politics, but I guess we'll find out. It's going to be interesting. It's kind of funny that Trump's naming women to his key advisor roles or whatever. Like, I thought he was a hater, bigot, whatever, but I think some of her ideas seem pretty interesting. I think the education system now is pretty flawed, so it's almost one of those, well, can she really make it worse type things? I don't know. And I mean, what is the Department of Education nowadays? It's like a Department of Debt, Slavery, and Student Loans, and like I'm wondering if she's going to go in there and start tearing stuff down and breaking this apart. Like, it's, I mean, let's talk about the whole Trump University lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. Is his university really that much worse than any other public university or college in the country? I don't know. I think a lot of college kids are hurting and feel like the whole system's a scam. And I think they're curious, why aren't they getting bailed out? Like, we'll print paper dollars to bail out corporations and businesses and bankers and all that, but you're going to be stuck with your student loans the rest of your life, whether you can pay them back or not, or whatever, whether you thought you got value out of your education or not. That's just something that right now you don't get bankruptcy protection for. You can go to a casino, get drunk, and run up your credit cards and spend, tons of dollars at some brothel in Vegas or something, and you can go bankrupt because of that, and you can drop all that debt. But if you try to go to school and better yourself and it doesn't work out for you, you will be saddled with this debt for the rest of your life. And I think that there's so much there to talk about too with the whole dollar and all that, but I think that's something that I would like to see addressed on an education front from Trump in the next 4 years, or Betsy DeVos, or whoever. I mean, that's half the reason we are where we are today, is our poor education system. Like I tweeted earlier this week that if one thing could change from all this, I want to see her get logic to be a core class, start teaching logic in public schools. It seems like that might have disappeared. Maybe it was never in curriculums. I think it used to be, but I never got it in my schooling. So I'm guessing a lot of kids are not getting it in their schooling today. But, they read the Diary of Anne Frank and some Holocaust Jewish privilege propaganda, and, we call it good. It doesn't matter if they have employable skills or whatever. So take out your loans and be a slave. I got some notes here. I'm going to see what else should, I'm work on planning these out better in the future here. I think it would help if I had someone else talking, so I'm going to try to do some interviews too with other podcasters. And that could be you, other people on Twitter, other people that are interesting. So if you ever want to get on here, let me know. Shoot me a direct message. I take them. You see the ADL blocked me this week? Did you see was it ADL Education and what's his name? Greenblatt, I think's his name. The director of that group blocked me on Twitter for I'm assuming it's polls about if Holocaust denial should be legal in Europe, which is a pretty interesting question. You're either for free speech or you're not, regardless of how you feel about history and if we should be allowed to talk about it. Like, I've been asking a bunch of polls lately about that question. It seems, I don't know, at least 80%, probably about 90% of people on average support free speech in Europe and think that we should have free speech in Europe. I do too. I think that whole question is so interesting because it's like, free speech is an American value. It's hard to be against it, but at the same time, so many American politicians feel like they have to march lockstep with Israel. So there's a double standard here. You can kind of force them, like, pick a side. What team are you on? I think that's pretty interesting. And if Europe happens to get free speech out of it, you know, the world might go to hell in a deplorable handbasket or something. But I think everything will be all right. That's just a meme that I want to drive home. Like, why? Just keep asking that question. Should Europeans have the right to, you know, say whatever they want, have free speech, deny the Holocaust if need be? Like, a lot of people don't think they should be able to do it, and it's pretty wild. Like, what ideas people think should be censored and shouldn't be censored, and if you even begin to go down that road of, well, you know, they can censor this idea. You know, can we ban evolution denial or Jesus denial or, you know, what other controversial speech people want banned? I'm sure everyone has their own idea that they wouldn't mind seeing suppressed. Some of them are more controversial than others, but, like, I don't want to go down that road at all. I think most sane people probably don't, but that's where some of this censorship PC BS is heading. So I think it's important to talk about it. And I think that might actually be the biggest issue of our time right now. You know, it's going to go one way or the other. We're either for free speech or we're not. America's kind of like the tip of the spear on this one. Like, we have free speech here. We pushed it, and it took a lot of fighting to get it to where it is, and it's under attack pretty hardcore right now. But it's not anywhere near suppressed as it is in most of the rest of the world. So, which way is that going to go? Should we be like a beacon shining on a hill and bring the rest of the world up to see the value of free speech and try to get them to adopt it in their countries and on their continents and all that? Or should we just let them chisel away at it for the next decade and see what's left in, you know, next century or whatever? You're either for it or you're not, so pick a side. You really can't be on the fence on this one. And I think it's important that we keep pushing, keep taking ground, so to speak. And getting Europe free speech, I think, is a huge issue. For so long now, the right's been attacked over there and demonized with, I don't even know what fascist stereotypes they have over there, but what's the point of democracy if you can't talk about ideas? You know, I mean, if you call it a democracy, it's still fascist, it's still something else if you can only vote on these two choices and everything else is banned. I mean, that's dictatorship, more or less. And maybe not to that degree yet, but that's where it's headed. Like, I mean, I support free speech everywhere in the world. That's easy. I hope you do too. So, if you do, be loud and be proud, right? Yeah, I think that's in everybody's self-interest over there. Like, what's going to go wrong? People are going to say mean stuff and bully each other on the internet. But yeah, I guess I'm just curious what you guys think about the election in the past week and where we are. Have we moved much further past all these anti-Trump protests we saw last week? Like, it seems like maybe the country's settling down and accepting this, but at the same time, I think we all kind of wonder, like, is Hillary Clinton going to try to do some weird challenge with Jill Stein? Are they going to try to swing some electorates or some electors, I should say? That I don't think would end well. I don't think it's possible. I think it's pretty much in the bag for Trump at this point while accepting it, but it just seems like they're not willing to concede this one, more or less. They're not willing to condemn riots, or I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. We'll see, but it seems like things are kind of calming down. I'm still half skeptical about if they will transfer power to Trump peacefully, like they're supposed to. And I think it's funny that, like, they keep acting like the right and all the alt-right Trump supporters are hater, Nazi, whatever. But it's like, it's almost the exact opposite of that. Like, the left is really behaving like fascists, attacking people, bird-dogging people. And, like, I mean, if Trump really is for real, I think they are going to, I think they're going to fight him all the way. And that could mean several different things. I don't even want to speculate or whatever. Stir up the what, you know, that's all I'll say. I hope they do transfer power peacefully, but I remember, like, in the debates, there was a whole thing about, are you going to challenge the election or not? And it seems like Clinton's camp or Stein. Like, wasn't Stein talking about how Hillary Clinton was going to start a nuclear war, how she was so evil, and now she wants this whole recount like she's that much better? It just doesn't make any sense. And I guess it only makes sense to me in the sense that I think it's disingenuous. So, yeah, you guys probably know how I feel if you've been following me on Twitter for very long. If you're not, PsychicDogTalk3, I think I'm up to now, at PsychicDogTalk3, so follow me, check it out, comment, let me know what you think. I want to hear you guys' ideas. If you got any questions you want to ask, post them. I guess I can't get away from the race issue here that's in play, and I think it's such a taboo thing because we're not even supposed to talk about it, especially if you're white in this country, race in general. But it's not going away. I mean, start deporting these illegal immigrants, these not white Mexican illegal immigrants. There's a race issue there. I mean, it's one of the weirdest things. Like, I can't think of many other. Like, Christianity doesn't have a global, like, unified body. Like, what other organizations are so, like, I don't want to use the word entitled, but so united behind, well, our own self-interest, I guess, is what it comes down to. Some of these racial groups, they really are just united behind their own self-interest, and some of these words don't even have real clear definitions, like race and who's white and who's not, who's Latin and who's Mexican and all that. I don't want to go there, but like, it's an issue, and it's identity politics. I'm right back at it again. It's like, the left made this. They created this. This is years and years of indoctrination in the making. I think a lot of older people are like thinking that I'm out in left field when I'm complaining about our educational system so much, and maybe complaining is the wrong word, but when I'm talking shit about it, it's like, I think our system has vastly changed since when you guys were put through it. Like, they're not teaching practical skills anymore. It's more just like propaganda and indoctrination. And I'm probably 10 years out of high school now, so like, it's probably gotten worse in some degrees, judging by some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter during the election, like Pepe the Frog on high school, like projectors in front of whole classrooms of kids talking about how he's a hate symbol and stuff. Like, that's not, I mean, just parroting different hate groups' opinions about other groups, and if they're hate groups or not, is not really gonna make any of this go away. So what is gonna make all this go away? Well, White History Month is gonna make all this go away. The Midwest Poverty Law Center is gonna make all this go away, right? Like, until we have pride in a certain culture, until we're allowed to express pride in certain heritages, well, then we're just looking at, the whole white privilege protocols of the learned elders of Zion, trying to take over the world, colonialism, conspiracy theories about white people or whatever group you want to, who is white and who's Jewish, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's such a misframing of this whole issue. Like, you can't act like we're a bunch of racist supremacists while we're letting the rest of the third world pour in here and, like, outbreed us and more or less take over, so we're on course to become a minority in our own country. But we're the racist supremacists? Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, we're not even acting like the Japanese people and being proud of our own heritage. We're not acting like the Jews and the Israelis, but we're the racist haters. Like, the amount of anti-white hate out there needs to be addressed. Until that goes away, I don't expect identity politics to change because it's been working, So, it's going to be a slow process. It's going to be a funny 4 years, really. I'm curious to see what the Trump administration does, who else he names. It's the issue of our times, really. It's the zeitgeist here. Like, what do you guys see happening? Do you see this one just calming down and going back to normal? Like, have we moved backwards in race relations in our country here? Over the past 8 years, I didn't see this one coming when we elected Obama 8 years ago. I really didn't. But it's like the way that just the blatant disregard for white interests, for white people, for white heritage, for Western ideals, Christianity, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's like we're being demonized across the board. Even it's just white privilege. White privilege it's a hate slur. It's demonizing a whole culture that's pretty eclectic and diverse, really. Like, there's rich white bankers and there's poor rednecks out in Appalachia or whatever. And it's totally cool to call them rednecks because I guess that's not a specifically racist hate slur yet. But give it 4 or 8 years and we will see. I'm out of stuff to talk about on my notes here. Maybe this is a briefer episode this week. I don't know what else to really say. Should we talk about Michigan and Ohio State? You guys want to talk football in that call? Maybe in a different world we would. I got something to say about it, but I'm going to leave that to people that talk about that sort of thing. I'm going to put it on hold, see if I think of anything else. I'm going to be wrapping this one up quick here this week. Let's go to commercials. Actually, I'll just record one right now. Like, if you want to advertise on my podcast, make me a deal, because no one else is, so we can negotiate. And welcome back from that commercial break. Hopefully I get the bumper music edited into this like I plan to do later, so I hope my podcast is coming along. I'd invite you to come back next week and check it out. You can find me here at PsychicDogTalk.com. Follow me on Twitter at PsychicDogTalk3, and I'm also on Gab at PsychicDogTalk. It's not PsychicDogTalk3 over at Gab because they haven't suspended me to previous times like Twitter has, so I'm on Gab now. And give me a follow there, too. If you're on Gab, I'll follow you back. So, my dog just came back too. We're still in this marsh. It's getting kind of dark. We are going to wrap this one up soon. But, I'm going to talk about free speech some more and that whole question about if Europe should have free speech. That question, you can ask almost anyone. You can ask it in Europe where you're not allowed to deny the Holocaust, so to speak. You can ask, should Europe have free speech so that people who do deny the Holocaust don't get thrown in jail? And a lot of people don't even realize that you can be thrown in jail for that it's illegal. Like that alone, just finding out, they're censored to the degree where if you express this opinion about history and what may or may not have happened, you'll go to jail for it. Like Ursula something in Germany, the 87-year-old grandma they just locked up for, just saying what she thinks about that period of time in history, regardless if it's true or not. I mean, it's her opinion. That level of censorship is very dangerous. Look at Alzheimer's. Look at people that kind of get loony and goofy in their old age. Maybe, everything happened just like I was taught in school, blah, blah, blah. But, people say some crazy stuff. People their brains kind of, dissolve, so to speak, when you get older sometimes. And wouldn't it be awful if while you were Alzheimering out, you accidentally said something that was illegal or banned by these speech Nazis or speech Jews, speech leeches, whatever you want to call them. Maybe some people really do believe this stuff. Maybe they really are on some radical extremist politics. Maybe some people are just crazy. Maybe it really is a mental illness, so to speak, sometimes when an 87-year-old grandma is sitting in jail because she said she didn't believe in the Holocaust in Germany. I don't know. I mean, at that age, too, is kind of funny. Would she just be sitting around watching TV in the retirement home? It's probably what she's doing in jail. It's goofy. Maybe she gets free health care there. I don't know how nice German jail is, but maybe I'll try to check it out some night if I'm ever in Berlin or somewhere. So, that question, you can ask that to anybody. You can ask, it will resonate. It will go places. Do you think Europe should have free speech, even if that means that people might deny the Holocaust? Do you think Europe should have free speech, even if that means people might say mean things about certain nations or ethnic groups? Do you think Europe should have free speech, even if somebody might tell a racist joke? It comes down to you either believe in free speech or you don't. And, how will the world change if Europe gets free speech? If Holocaust denial is suddenly legalized, what does that do? Will anything change? What difference does it make? That's the question. That's where you start wondering, if Santa Claus denial was suddenly outlawed, what difference would it make if it was legalized again? If Bigfoot denial is suddenly legalized, would anything change if flat earth denial or round earth denial, whatever you want to call that, is suddenly legalized from being illegal? The thing is, nothing really is going to change unless there's something there to be hidden. So, if there's nothing there to be hidden, why are they afraid of people talking about it? I guess is my question. But, I'm no expert, I'm no historian. I still want to snowboard in certain parts of Europe, so I'm not going to say what I think, other than say, what's the point of even talking about it until you have free speech on the issue? I think we should leave it at that. Let's give free speech over there and see where this goes. It's an interesting topic. I mean, if you're going to talk about free speech activism, this is one of the most oppressed, yet commonly propagandized issues out there. So, I think it's relevant. Maybe it's not. The only way to really find out for sure is to get free speech in Europe, which I think would be good for everybody involved anyway. And, that's a good question to ask even American politicians. Ask Donald Trump. Ask anybody. Ask your local mayor. There's good people talking about this issue because it will build, it will resonate, and eventually, people are going to really have to take a look at it. Why doesn't Europe have free speech? I mean, it's more than Europe. I say Europe because it's kind of where it happened. But, I support free speech around the world. This, if this was banned in Mexico, well, I'd say, we could say this about Mexico. But we're talking about mostly European countries where events supposedly happened that are still being used to affect modern politics. So this is all fair. And, you're not going to get thrown in jail in these countries where this is banned for asking this or for retweeting somebody on Twitter who's asking this. It's not... It's inspiring people to look into an issue that is trying to be censored. So I would encourage you to do that wherever you are. I think that this has the power to bring down Jewish privilege as a whole. So, you gotta aspire to something, right? But that's where we're at. How come it's totally kosher to call out white privilege like it's some problem in, a country that used to be almost majority white totally? But, it's not okay to talk about Jewish privilege. Do white people need our own ethnic state like the Jews and Japanese have, so that we don't have to hear this whole white privilege shit anymore, so we don't have to talk about, affirmative action token picks and just, throwing shekels to the different minority voter blocks, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but it's an issue, and it's not going away. And these undertones were so wrapped up in the past presidential election. But a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about them openly because you will potentially lose your job or be attacked on the fucking street or at school. And that's pretty much the opposite of free speech. And if we can't talk about history and politics, then, forget about democracy, because that's not what we have. I'm wondering if there's more I have to say this week, or if I can just leave it here. I think I can probably just leave it here. That's about everything. Let's see. Yeah, that's everything I have to say for this past week. We're going to call this a short one. Look for me to be back next week, and sometime I'm probably going to try to do this on Saturday. You might get a midweek show. Follow me on Twitter and Gab and all that for more updates. I'm not sure exactly how often I can work these into my schedule here, and it might vary based on how much interesting stuff is happening, how much interesting stuff I have to say. So it still's up in the air, but this has been the Psychic Dog Talk radio program, episode 2. And thank you for tuning in.